Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I am Tembi Madrosha and today we will be discussing the romantic misogynoir of black men towards black women. And it's quite a hefty topic, but I'm going into it with a very light-hearted, draggy, not so much discourse kind of perspective. I am here to educate but dissolve at the same time. So if you want a safe space, come along, join me. Don't forget to comment, like and subscribe. I'd also like to add that kukho trigger warning, physical abuse, trigger warning, emotional abuse, manipulation, gaslighting, all of that. So if that's not your kind of content or something that you want to watch, please do not. So the way this video is gonna go, you know, typically I am a discourse gal and I prefer to discuss, unpack, nuance, understand, psychoanalyze. I am always that person. I am always that person that is ready. I'm gonna go in with my Switch Beauty actual cheekbones. I believe it's a bronzer. It says Duo Pan Powder Contour. I've used these products before, so this is more of a review slash whatever you want to call it. I guess it is a contour, cream contour of sorts. What I usually do is I mix the two shades, and it usually will be a very messy experience, but I clean it up after because like the one is too dark, the other one is too light. I now subscribe to the one layer foundation crew. It took a while, but I'm there now. I cannot cake my face up anymore. So anyway, I was saying I am the type of person to unpack and want to nuance and want to, you know, be the one, the intellect, the gal, but not anymore. Like I now subscribe to dragging. I will drag over discourse. Like I'm okay with that because I'm exhausted. So today this video is a drag. Today's video does not bring forth solutions for the public. Today's video does not bring forth healing. Maybe it will be a space of healing, I don't know, child. Maybe this video will bring forth some kind of discourse, some kind of way of moving forward for the population of women that dates men in particular. But this is my space of just being like, everything is messed up, sweetie. Really messed up. I am newly single. My relationship is no more. So I'm now at a point where I am dating and I am in talking stages and I am engaging. If you're not used to this one layer foundation thing, it might look a bit weird, but this is what we're doing. So anyway, you'll just get with the program. So I'm engaging and I'm chatting and I'm getting used to new people. Hey, and like when you have been in a relationship, you start to see that, yo, people are the ghetto, child. I'm just going in with this Makeup Revolution stick because, what do they call it? It is a base stick foundation, Makeup Revolution base stick foundation, because I just want to deepen it a bit more. When I put my other products on, it will all blend seamlessly. So abantu banezote, guys, yo, we're talking stages. You're learning a new person, you're getting used to a new flow, you're just in hell. Like, let's call a spade a spade. You're just in hell. This is not a healing space, yo. I simply, but it's not a healing space. It's more of a space to vent, and perhaps those are the kind of healing spaces that we should be gravitating towards, because a lot of the time as women, we tend to do labor even in our healing circles. And I just wanted to dispel that idea today. I just want to say it's okay actually for us to be abantu abangena solutions. It's okay for us to be abantu who are not trying to heal South Africa, because constantly we are those people. As I said, this is not a discourse video, it's more of a drag. We do have to anchor our conversation with some rhetoric or discourse of some sort, because asithethe nje like bakhona ke abantu abathetha nje, and that's fine, but mna ndingumuntu kaGoogle, and uGoogle ndimthanda ukufa. I'm highlighting and contouring with my Maybelline, maybe it's Maybelline, good as in and Fit Me, Maybelline Fit Me concealers. So typically with Live, I like to first color correct with my shade, and then under the eyes, and then I go in with my highlight because we've already contoured most. So when such band Google, now I believe firmly in the art of Google, or whatever search engine you have at your disposal. The first point I think we should make is our experiences are not outside of the system of patriarchy. They're not outside the system of misogyny. They're not outside the system of toxic masculinity. They're not outside the systems of homophobia, because I'm also speaking from a queer perspective. We're speaking from an intersectional perspective. So zonke ezizinto ziya overlap. Wacho Kimberly Crenshaw. By intersectionality is when these points of oppression, you know, they overlap, they come together, and they affect the individual in multiple ways. So okay, as the romantic instances, or these romantic hurts and romantic forms of betrayal and oppression, those things are not isolated, you know, from the types of oppression that I mentioned. And there are many more forms of oppression that you can layer onto the ones that I mentioned, but let's just use the ones that I mentioned as a point of departure, where we know that patriarchy is a system that exerts the masculine, the cishet male above the femme, above the queer, above all of that is not, you know, a particular binary, or it's not a particular way of being. We'll start there, because I've come to see that my romantic experiences are affected in a very direct way by this. Like, I do not exist as someone that's floating, you know. I exist as someone with my own intersections, my own oppressions, and my own ways of being. And the way I exist in this world, I'll just break it down for myself, because I'm not speaking about everybody else, but the way I exist in this world is as a queer, femme, black woman. And I'm no longer using the word fat anymore, because I was told that I don't necessarily look fat, so maybe I won't use that term today. Typically I would have said that, but let's just say somebody that does not appear or experience the world as a slim person. I am intersection as needs, like I'm not typically someone that fits a respectable lens within patriarchy, or within you know, the cis heterosexual kind of form, or I don't fit that mold as many people do. Some people fit it more than others. So that's my point of departure, because we understand that desirability and our various intersections are a huge part of our dating experience. And there are people who have articulated this way better than I have. People who have articulated it from a dark-skinned person's point of view, from a fat person's point of view, from a trans person's point of view. And I'll link some podcasts that I've been listening to down below that express this very thing. Because before we start talking about how much men hate us, child, we need to talk about why they hate us. And a huge part of that is desirability and respectability. I'll do a little bit of foundation around the mouth area because as you can see I've covered most of my face. Yo, and like I'm running out of this foundation. This is the Lancome Teint Idole foundation. So I just literally will dab like around the mouth area, maybe around the forehead, but like even there very minimally, because we're not caking anymore, child. So now that we've unpacked very minimally, you know, how desirability comes into play within our dating scope, because you already understand that the pool is shallow, so it becomes even shallower and shallower when these intersections and these desirability politics, respectability politics come into play. I don't know if you guys need me to explain what toxic masculinity is, but again, for the purpose of it discourse, maybe I should. So toxic masculinity is basically alluding to the aspirational value of what it means to be masculine, and from a point of it being harmful, from a point of it being oppressive, from a point of it prescribing what it means to be a man, what it means to be a certain way. Omnye umntu angathi ba boys don't cry, or all the things that they say to little boys when they're growing up. Like that's where toxic masculinity stems from. So as I had said, that is the context we are working from, ne? Oba kukho ezi hierarchies, these systems that exist above us, and a way to familiarize everybody is to place it into popular discourse, which is the way that everybody has been on this tip, yoba men are trash. That's been a hashtag, it's been a movement, it's been popular discourse amongst all circles, queer circles, platonic circles, amongst women, amongst gay men, amongst everybody has popularized lendo iti men are trash. And in the beginning, the men are trash statement was to say, we are not necessarily saying men are trash within romantic relationships solely. Men are trash in the way that they treat us within gender-based violence, the femicide that we experience as women in South Africa, the atrocities that men commit against women. You know, that was the discourse around the men are trash thing. And I'm saying that this conversation is not isolated from that. When I'm going to be speaking about how men hate us, I'm within that discourse. I'm departing from that discourse. Amadoda hate us, misogyny exists, patriarchy exists, but right now I'm centering how this is exhibited within the romantic space. So now you can safely say men are trash from a romantic point of view. And when somebody comes for you, you will say that we are speaking about that today. When someone says not all men are trash, we will say we are speaking about the men that are trash today. When someone says I'm not trash, you will say I'm not speaking about you, mister. I am speaking about the trash person that I have experienced. I'm not trying to open it up for debate or conversation. I don't care whether you are trash or you are not trash where you are sitting right now, but today, and specifically today, we are departing from a point of misogyny and patriarchy that deems men to be trash, but we also are roping that in to our romantic and sexual interactions that further prove that these men are indeed trash. Right? I'm gonna bake, or rather set my face with this banana powder from Makeup Revolution. So now asithi ngoba as relationships zethu as quite isolated from men being trash through misogyny, men being trash through patriarchy, we then understand why it is impossible to date umntu that is an abuser. It is impossible to date umuntu that is a rapist. It is impossible to date umuntu that is an aggressor, because those actions can easily be perpetuated within the romantic space. In fact, those actions can easily be perpetuated within their personal space in all regards, towards any person in their life that is a woman or femme presenting. We understand this, we understand this, we understand this. And I'm speaking in the plural form because if you don't understand it, I want you to be here. I want you to be in this conversation right now. And I want you to engage from a point of, even if I'm not there, don't leave me. I also want to understand. I also want to get with the program. I also want to know why you guys are not engaging with people who are on the list. Why you guys are not engaging with people who have been outed as abusers. You know, I want all of us to be on the same page, so that we cover all bases. Even before I speak of cheating and all of the juicy things that people perceive as hatred towards women, siqala up good basics. So can you treat a woman with respect? Can you treat somebody that you're not attracted to with respect? Can you treat somebody that is not your mother, your sister, your grandmother? Niyabazi babanjani ababantu bathi I'm a son, I'm this, I'm that, babe abusile, basoze benze into ezithile. Contour and glow palette, ayisembisana, it go where it's a very well loved contour and glow palette yakwa Mr. Price Scarlet Hill. So I need you guys to understand, before we move to the interesting juicy bits of why these men hate us, you must start it from scratch. Ungabi shook when people accuse your partner of having beaten somebody or having raped somebody, and then now you are stuck in this conundrum of what do I do? Because this man has been exhibiting the same hatred towards you. And I know that I'm gonna raise like a couple of points that might not be friendly to the house at large, but Linda, by abuse, we tend to think that it's a big bad wolf that's happening out there. We tend to think that it's something that can only happen to victims, and the victim looks a certain way, when it's difficult for us to understand that manipulation is a form of abuse. Shouting and screaming and swearing is verbal abuse. Cheating is a form of emotional abuse because it comes with gaslighting, comes with manipulation, comes with lying, it comes with all sorts of things that are embedded within the grander scheme of abuse. This is why men hate us. And he shake betuna, and he shake, and he shake, and he shake, and he shake. I want that to be clear. It's not funny to me at all. And what probed this chat on my end is a tweet I had made, where I had said, you just know when a man hates you. You just know it. You just know it. You just know when a man hates you. He says he will do things, he doesn't do them. He says he will show up, he doesn't show up. He is the one that pursued you, but and that's because he hates you. He hates you. He hates you. You are just a conquest for him. You are just a means of getting by or proving something or showing his masculinity, toxic at that, toxic masculinity. You are just a way of him saying, I've been there, I've done that, and I got the t-shirt. A man went out of his way to pursue me. I was not checking for that person. I was not checking for that person. Went out of his way to pursue me, sold me dreams about what he can do for me. Who had promises about what this relationship ought to be, because a lot of the time women are very honest. Like when we are dating, like in the true sense of dating, where you're still looking around, you're trying to figure out like, what do you like, what don't you like. As someone who's newly single, that's what I'm going through at the moment. I'm figuring it out. So when I meet people, I don't promise them anything because sequester stage. Now the difference between me and a man, or that particular man, he is exactly in the same stage, but yeah, now what he will do is he will promise things, he will create scenarios that will never happen, he'll make you feel like the world, he'll make you feel like you guys are meant to be, he'll create situations and embed them in your head. Now you are running around, you never had any expectations, but all of a sudden those expectations are sitting with you because a particular person placed them. Men, like ngabo aba, ngabo. It's what they do, like it's what they specialize in. It has a major. After I say university, I'm using this Palladio blush. After I say university, yeah, major yakhe is just to demoralize abafazi. That's what he does. Women who are not even checking for him, you know what I mean? So now that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with sadists and the chomiam who likes to say this. I'm using the NYX 3 steps to sculpt, and I'm going in with this blush. I like it because it's peachy and I like to layer it on top. With the blushes I usually will do a darker tone underneath and then a lighter one on top, but I love blush, like I'll overdo it. So bazi say to scare ababantu, like they'll literally do the most, they'll literally do the utmost, unprovoked. Nobody asked them, nobody said anything to them, but they will be the ones to make those kind of promises. They will be the ones to say, I'll do this for you, I'll take you to this place, I'll show up on your birthday, I'll dontoni. Ungamcelanga umuntu, guys, ungamcelanga, uzihlelele, ungamcelanga. Yo, sound frustrate. This is what I call, it's not just misogyny, it's romantic misogyny. Misogyny, the needs types, but in my opinion, this is what you call romantic misogyny. Like where the man is attracted to you, he wants to conquer your body sexually, I don't know, man, in all forms. Like he wants to conquer you as a person, because I'm speaking particularly about black men right now. So they are the deputy whites. So Nabo, they fall under that thing of wanting to conquer and colonize and whatnot. So you as that person, as that woman, or as that femme, they want to conquer you. And trust me, when you are just a stepping stone, they're going to continue doing this to other people. And the other thing about this abuse that we encounter from them is they want us to be present. I made another tweet where I said, these are tweets that I've been putting out because I've just been experiencing this thing, child. One thing about a man that hates you is he does not want to leave you alone. So this particular man that I was referring to, the one who had like put me through it, obviously didn't block her. And the funny thing is, when I tweeted about him, a girl came to me and she said, I know exactly who you're speaking about. What are the chances? Like, what are the chances? Where I, in the initial tweet, had said one thing, like, you just know when a man hates you. A girl came to me and responded, what? Yo, I know who you're talking about. One did DM, and she was like, girl, you talking about this person. And she's like, trust me, don't open that window. Just like leave, because I've been there. And she just told me a lot of stuff that I obviously can't disclose. But this person was definitely a sadist. That's all we can say. Like, yeah, he is not invested in the wellness of women. He's a womanizer in the true sense. So now, after that conversation I had with that woman, I had made the personal decision to abort like all missions with this person. Leave him for my own sanity and for my own self-respect, child. Like, I cannot be going through this thing. So I'm block her on multiple platforms, but it took a while for me to block him on all platforms. Like, I blocked him first on WhatsApp, and then he contacted me on Instagram. Then I just unfollowed him on Instagram and I removed him as a follower. And then he called me on the phone, and then eventually I got the, you know, courage to block him on my phone as well. So it took a while. But what I'm gonna say to you is, one thing about a man that hates you is he does not want to leave you alone. And the reason for that is he wants you to be present. You have to be there to endure the abuse. Like, funa kube present, because who is he going to exert that on? If not you, then who? Wena ke ngoku ubuthandaza uThixo wakho, uthi ndiflathelwe lidlozi, uthi ndidinga isiwasho, ndintontoni, ulayita amakhandlela ngo-12, kanti it's this person. Yo, you think you are the problem, even if you don't subscribe to the spiritual or religious things that I was, you know, referring to, but you will still think you are at fault. You will still think that in order for this relationship to work, you are the one that needs to sacrifice certain things, or you are the one that needs to do certain things, when in actual fact there's absolutely nothing you can do, Sanolwam, like nothing. And another friend of mine posted a video where Ubusiswa, the musician, is speaking about her experience with physical abuse.
When I first got hit by a man, as in a man first laid his hand on me, my first thoughts were not anger, but pity. I was in love, and I thought that the person that I was in love with was going through some things, and I felt I needed to help them get through those things. I tried different things during the relationship, and from therapy to anger management classes to speaking with the elders to prayer, to education and information sharing, I really thought that abuse is something that you can get through with your partner. I'm here to say to ladies who are in abusive relationships, or who will ever come across that situation, God forbid, you can't. It's not your place. It's not your responsibility. It's not your job.
There's nothing you can do. Instead, that person will just keep inflicting that violence upon you. You know, despite your attempts to rehabilitate them, despite your attempts to be there for them, you will still be the one who's subjected to that type of violence. And I don't want to have this conversation today regarding whether those kinds of people can be rehabilitated. The stance that I have taken personally is just to completely disassociate from people who have been outed as rapists and abusers. However, I understand that we do not share the same politics, so like I'm not prescribing a particular way to be, but like what Ubusiswa said was really powerful to me, because it proved that despite what you think is like happening and your potential and your ability, because as women we tend to do a lot of labor, so siyathanda uba ngabantu aba-multi-talented, uzibone so yi-therapist ungeyiyo. If you're not a therapist or you and you're not equipped to be one, then you should not be in that position where you're supposed to be one. Oh, by the way, I'm using the Switch Beauty Air Matte lip liner. Let's just say it's a liner. It could be an eyeliner as well, so maybe it's a lip and eyeliner. But I adore it, like it's giving me life. This is the Scarlet Hill Pucker Up Matte Lipstick, and I'm going to use on top the Switch Beauty Air Gloss. I really like it. Like, it's been doing everything for me lately. You can empower yourself in all ways on your side. You can, you know, subscribe to these feminist ideals. You can subscribe to all these wonderful things that empower us. But even though that decides to shit on you, that's what he'll do. Your feminism does not shield you from that disappointment or from that hurt. I'm gonna apply this Switch Beauty superhero spray. This is their original edition and I really like it. I use it as a toner as well in the PM, and I use it as a setting spray for my makeup. My texture is a bit better now, so I can afford to put on a highlight by some Maybelline Colossal. It doesn't matter, like you can be the most empowered, liberated person, but at the end of the day, if he decides and your feminism is not gonna protect you, like let's demystify this thing of being done dirty by men, because we tend to make it seem like women who are done dirty by men deserve it, or you know, you don't meet certain standards, or it's your fault or a problem. And because even the most desirable women go through this. So what's the truth? Like, and I'm not trying to make it seem like just because you're a desirable person you shouldn't be dealing with such, but I'm saying the game is rigged. Yes, the more desirable and respectable you are, the better your chances at dating and, you know, romantic relationships. But the reality is that we're all just in hell, like, because these men hate us, and that is the environment and that is the structure that we exist in. So sitini, like funeka sitini, because one was no performance because you're in hell. Usekhaya kodwa yonke into ifuna isefrijini, uthi xa uvula efrijini ayikho le ndoda ifunayo. Oh hayi guys, singashona. Are we happy? No. Did we get solutions? I'm not sure. Did we create a healing space? Perhaps. But are men still doing this thing to us? Definitely. Oh, I think a little flip would be cute here, hey? So pretty. Oh my god, I love my work. So that's it, guys. The chat regarding the hatred of men against women, romantic misogyny, romantic misogynoir. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Follow me on social media to hear more of my hot takes on Amadoda. Facially, I'm almost there, and conversationally, we're almost there, because I got conclusion. We're just dragging Amadoda, which is good. The nerves. Yes, that's the nerves. Yo.